Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs podcast? Welcome to the Chiefs Blitz podcast, brought to you by ChiefsBlitz.com, your top source for Chiefs news. Our podcast is produced by Bowtie Sports and hosted by Nick Athan, Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, Hense Todd, and special contributor, Fox 4 sports reporter and anchor, Harold Kuntz. Please like and subscribe to our show. Now let's talk Kansas City Chiefs football.
All right, welcome to the next edition of the Chiefs Blitz podcast. I'm your host, Nick Athan, with Mr. Hense Todd, Mr. Lou Montagna.
Hey.
Harold Kuntz getting ready for Mardi Gras in New Orleans. We're going to have a great show today.
I thought he was all psyched about Chris Paul retiring.
Mardi Gras, Tyreek Hill may be coming to Kansas City. Oh, my goodness. What else can we do today? To provide you the news of the day and get ready for the 2026 season as the offseason has officially begun, at least to our liking anyway. Things are starting to cook a little bit, move, and we'll get to that in a second. Before we get started, let's talk about our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. If you're looking to play one of the best games out there, Underdog Fantasy is your place to go. Just hit the promo code Chiefs Blitz, make your deposit. You get bonus entries every time you set up a new account. Again, use the code Chiefs Blitz. NBA, NHL, Olympics, all sorts of sports going on. Major League Baseball preseason starts next week. So I've got that looking forward to as well. So join today, become part of the crew, and we're excited for that opportunity. All right, there's the other senior member, Lou.
That's right. Hey, nice. I'm ready for my close-up, Hense. Thank you.
Yes. Ready for your close-up. Absolutely.
So, let's get right into it. It was a little breaking news out there.
We got to talk about Harold's jersey, but okay, here we go. We'll get to that. So, as of today, the Miami Dolphins are just cleaning house. Bradley Chubb gone. Who were the other one? Westbrook Akine gone. One of their offensive linemen, name escapes me right now, gone. And here we go. It's happening. The Cheetah, free agent. So the Dolphins have officially released Pro Bowler Tyreek Hill. Saves Miami $22.8 million against the cap, but leaves the superstar as an unrestricted free agent for the first time ever. And I believe with his seniority, he can sign right now if he wants.
Yes, he can.
So there we go. And so for the first time, he's completely free. The problem is the injury, obviously. I mean, he really had a horrific type knee injury back last September. We'll get into it in a few minutes, I would imagine, Hense, but he was on Twitch talking about another surgery, perhaps, but the recovery is going well. But there's another surgery, so it'll be interesting to see which teams will be in pursuit and how quickly teams will jump or just wait until maybe there's a better indication of how much he can move. But it'll be a bit.
Let's hear what he said on Twitch.
Yeah. My recovery's going good, bro. Like I said earlier in the stream, I got to have one more surgery. You know what I'm saying? I have more updates on that on my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys follow me, have been following me throughout this journey, man. It hasn't been as rough as people try to make it seem. You know what I'm saying? But I will say with me, filling my time with, DJing and traveling to all these different places, I will say that it has made it a lot easier for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying my life. I'm enjoying myself, man. So, but yeah, I have more updates whenever I'm about to have surgery. My recovery.
Keeping busy. Tyreek, always on the move.
So what y'all have to say? Go ahead, Nick.
Well, I mean, I think obviously people can try to connect the dots here, but now that's revealed, he's a free agent. The Dolphins released him today. They're doing their cap purge early, which is probably pretty smart. And so for Tyreek Hill, I mean, you connect the dots. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid all have familiarity with him. And I think one of the biggest things that I saw today, which I thought was interesting, and there's Garrett Dieter. He wants to obviously bring him home. But, with Mahomes not doing his, spring Dallas boot camp with the receivers, bringing in a guy who's familiar, maybe even bringing Tyquan Thornton back. So Patrick has a little bit better understanding of who he has. He's worked with Worthy, he's worked with Reich, he's worked with Royals. Maybe those are the 5 principal receivers. But for me, listen, I talked to a couple people today, and I think the Chiefs would kick the tires and maybe have some interest. But now the news about another surgery coming, and who knows what that could be. It could be a scope, it could be a cleanup, it could be something unrelated to the knee. But I think it's a real 50-50 question that he's ready for opening day. Harold, you're in the building. You talk to these people a lot more than I do. Do you honestly think the Chiefs would entertain bringing him back?
No. No. Anything else?
Well, okay. Give us the reasons why.
Yeah. The only way I can see him coming back is he's Coach Hill. That's really the only reason I can see him coming back. There's too much risk. You're bringing somebody in that you're going to pay basically to be in the athletic training offices more than he is on the field. I mean, there's no sense. I mean, I know the Chiefs this offseason have been all about bringing back the old guard, if you will, with Bieniemy and Kelsey and all them, but it makes no sense. From a financial standpoint, it makes no sense. From a development standpoint, it makes no sense. None of it makes any sense. Now, do the Chiefs organization love Tyreek? Of course they do. I think everybody there has a lot of love for Tyreek. They just know, like, he's lost his fastball and he's lost another fastball. And let's remember what they got back for him in a trade. If we remember, it was Trent McDuffie, it was Leo Chanel, it was Brian Cook. I'm missing a couple others, but it was 5 guys that all really helped produce their defense. And they're already trying to figure out what they're doing with Trent and what they're doing with Brian and Leo. So that's where the wash comes in. The Chiefs have to they have to be in a mentality now of we've got to mold new players. We've got to mold new talent. We've got to coach them. And there's nothing to coach with Tyreek. Tyreek would be better suited as a coach right now. At 32 years old, he'll be 33 before he'll be probably good to even be back to doing anything at a competitive NFL level. And then, who knows that he doesn't get hurt again, because if you haven't been following the past couple of years, he's been getting hurt a little bit over and over again. He hasn't played all the games. So his body is just naturally starting to break down. And that injury was devastating. So, I mean, do you want to have the conversation? Sure. But the conversation should be like, hello, and how you doing? Hope everything's well. And please, if you're interested in an assistant receiving coaching job, by all means, please come by at 1 Arrowhead Drive. We'd love to have you. Get your hat. We'll get you a cap. We'll get you a whistle. But by no means do you need to be on the field.
All right.
Well, I think when Pro Football Focus put it out there. Go ahead, Luke. Go ahead. What they put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously, I was going to ask for a follow-up of you. Well, will he even have a market? See, that's just it. I mean, it's almost like, next week we're talking about the combine. You got a bunch of players where the medical is going to be the most important thing. Well, obviously, I think that would be the one thing that all these teams would want to get their hands on, as far as, okay, seeing MRIs, checking with the surgeon, and see what all that stuff before you even think about it, right? And some of the things that Harold said really hit home, because unless you're a big fan of the Blues Brothers movie where, hey, we're getting the band back together again, it's hard to do, especially if you're trying to evolve the team, if you're trying to develop these younger players. Now, that would say a lot if they made an investment in Tyreek about the current wide receiver situation. And I think that would give you more pause than to say, hey, let's maybe, if we're going to invest it in a 32-year-old, maybe one of these younger free agent wide receivers might be worth the money. Even though it's more money, we're not dealing with damaged goods or, somebody that, again, if Tyreek doesn't have the speed that's kind of been like the separator for him for his entire career, I get it. He's a good route runner and all that, but it kind of just diminishes what he brings to this team. So yeah, it'll be a tough one because, there's a lot of emotion to it. But, if you're just looking from a team building perspective, if you took his name out of it and here's the blind resume, 32 years old, these injuries the last few years, just got cut by the team that paid him all this money, you're going to be thinking, well, I don't know. Well, maybe after the draft, we'll take a look if he's still available.
I think the Chiefs do take a look. I think they're on the phone with him right now. Because if you look at this wide receiver room since he left, Tyreek Hill on one leg and crutches is better than all of them. You know what I mean? If one leg and crutches, he can run routes better than he can run routes and Rashi Rice. He can get open. He knows, when Patrick Mahomes is on the run and everything else, he wants that receiver that knows where he's at. You know what I mean? And that Tyreek Hill is that guy. Since that band ain't been back together, hey, I will bring him back in.
Except the timing him with a stopwatch, they'll be using a sundial. I don't know if that's I don't know how that's gonna go. And again, that's the whole thing. We don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's got like the exceptional healing powers of the Mahomes family tree. Who knows? And he's gonna have to because of the position that he plays. And you can't expect that. I mean, especially the first year off of an injury like that. If you did it, you'd almost have to have that second year team option that, who knows if they'd be willing to give. It's highly speculative at this point. It's great for us to talk about today because it is the off season and not a whole lot going on just yet. But no, it sounds great, but there's a lot of hoops he would have to jump through to Chiefs even think, hey, this could be a thing.
Well, if Eric Bieniemy is coordinator now, will you think he was like, okay, I want Tyreek Hill, they will give him to him?
No.
You know what I mean? If he I want Tyreek
Hill,
I'm just saying, like, if he want Tyreek, whatever Pat say, I want Tyreek.
You're not even be allowed to ask that question.
If Patrick Mahomes say I want Tyreek Hill, I think he's returned. But
But hence the irony of somebody who's dealing with an injury asking for somebody who's dealing with an injury to come back. It just doesn't make any logical sense.
Happens in Kansas City here, Harold.
Patrick will have some company in the training room.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just you have a talking buddy. Yeah.
I think Tyreek Hill will be back. We went right before the season starts. Here because of some landing spots that Pro Football Focus put out there. They said the Kansas City Chiefs are the landing favorites, and they got Washington Commanders or the Indianapolis Colts or the Las Vegas Raiders. But the Kansas City Chiefs will probably be in the league. For the looking at the he's been here, he knows the playbook. He ain't somebody like Nick said that you don't got to bring somebody in, and if he's coming off an injury, he still knows the playbook. And Patrick Mahomes didn't have to really throw with him because they already know how to, the chemistry.
It's been a few years. Yeah,
it's been a while.
And both of them coming off serious injuries. So again, it all sounds good and, fairy tales and like a Disney movie or something like that. And all of a sudden he returns to form and, oh my God, the old guy still is running 4.2s, whatever. But it's just, again, there's a lot of information that has to come out, medically. And for him to be out there and just show that he can run and cut and all that, I don't know. I mean, Drew Rosenhaus would probably feel like if they thought that he wasn't going to be able to show what he has in the past, he might want to sign as quickly as possible and say, hey, this may not last very long. Or he's thinking, hey, this guy, once he's healthy, he's going to show him and I'm going to get more money for him. But again, if you wait till the summer, a lot of teams have spent their money. It's a lot has to happen still. But
I think
I'm praying for you. I hope it works out the way you like.
I think he do return because I really do think he retire.
You think everybody's coming back. You don't care who it is.
All three of y'all said Eric Bieniemy wasn't coming back. Then what happened?
Okay, again, you hear what you want to hear. We may have said it wasn't a great idea. But okay,
I just didn't think it was the greatest idea in the world. But
how about
that we agree on.
So here's the rest of the guys. I'm sorry, James Daniels is a guy I couldn't remember, but Nick Westbrook-Akine was a free agent that they had signed from Tennessee, and Bradley Chubb, obviously the trade they made with Denver. Didn't work out the way they wanted. I mean, he had like 8.5 sacks last year, which I think would have led the Chiefs or would have been right up there. But he becomes a free agent now too. So again,
I like Bradley Chubb in a Chiefs uniform.
I think he's got the size. Now, obviously, Bradley could probably command a lot more money than Tyreek at this stage of the game, but it'll be interesting to see how quickly his market takes shape and people get after it. So. Yeah, it's Miami's doing their thing. New regime, new GM, new coach. Like, hey, Tua's probably next. It's just a matter of them just saying, okay, are we going to pay him to sit here, or we can just pay him to go away? Bottom line. Yeah. So,
Tyreek Hill updated his post on Instagram. He said unemployed.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know who his 4 followers are.
Yeah, who are the 4 people?
Somebody look up who the 4 followers are.
Now does he have to go? Does he have to go down to like the Department of Human Services and apply for benefits or what? How does that work?
Yeah, he's in the $100 million club. He's got to get benefits.
Speaking of, the Miami Dolphins cutting people. Who's the 4 followers?
Who are the 4?
I'm gonna put them up.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, this isn't one of your fancy TV. This isn't one of your fancy TV cameras, Harold.
It's Soul Runner. Soul Runner, his clothing company.
Okay.
Deuce Hill, Capri Hill. So kids, and then Kalani, the artist.
Okay. No cash from Mahomes. Okay. Fair enough.
It must be a new account.
Gotta be. It's got 2 million followers. It's not that new.
But other than that, man, looking at the cuts, could the Chiefs be making a move today and cutting Taylor? Could Taylor be on the move today? Could they be looking to be, making some moves today as well to clear up cap space before the combine hits?
I think the restructures probably happen first, right, before they cut anyone. I would think, right?
I think teams are going to make announcements early. Harold, I mean, the Chiefs have been doing a little bit more of this in recent years of making announcements and decisions before the start of, certainly free agency and certainly part, during the combines.
Yeah. I would say you should expect some movement because they're in the same boat that Miami was. They got to cut some cap space, so they got to make some moves here, and they just want to announce it now, get it over with before, a lot before the combine, but definitely before free agency. So yeah, they're gonna definitely make some.
So who do we think? I mean, you got Drew Tranquill might be in that boat. Mike Dana might be in that boat.
Yeah, there's
anybody else?
A few of your I wouldn't say unheralded, but there's
guys that are under contract now. Obviously, the guys that aren't.
Yeah. And some of those defensive players. I mean, we know about the franchise tag guys with Brian Cook, Leo Chanel. But they got to figure out too many things. They got to figure out. I mean, we're still going to wait for the official decision from Travis, and then we have to wait for what they want to do with Trent. And then
it's going to be a busy time for the Chiefs.
Yeah. So I mean, and I mean, the thing about it is we don't hear from Brett till I think, next week Monday.
At the combine.
A week from Monday, right?
So
was it unusual that he didn't have a press conference at the end of the year?
Oh, we begged for it, but
yeah,
I think they gave us. I think
because they've been in the Super Bowl. The
compensation was getting Patrick Mahomes because
but I'm saying the Super Bowl the last 3 years there was no need, but this year was a little different.
Yeah.
So you thought maybe he'd say a little something, but. Yeah, that'll be interesting at the combine. If anybody, are you going to be there, or is anybody?
I'm hoping to be. We're trying to figure it out.
Just kind of any of the local reporters kind of grill them.
There'll be a few there.
Yeah, well, there always is a contingent that comes from.
Yeah, it's a fun experience if you've never done it before. It's actually, I found it to be fun. So that's just me. So
it's a lot of the. That's right. That guy played in college.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, that's him at Texas Tech. Oh, okay.
Could Chris Jones be a surprise cut? If they, cut Chris Jones. Is that happening? You can't see that happen.
Yeah,
I don't see him go nowhere. So,
well, he can still play.
He's a lifer,
and he's got a big number too. So I mean, he still has gas in the tank. The other guys, again, like Dana and Drew, you've got some younger players that you probably want to filter in again, and it depends on what they're going to do with Leo. Because if they want to keep Leo, then I think Drew probably goes.
Yeah, because some of these guys are out there, but they're going to test the market for sure and see what the market values them at.
You would think,
and that's the right thing to do. And if the market doesn't value them, because you know how this works. Veach operates with here's a number, here's what we value you as. Now you go ahead, go look around. Now if you can be a Turk Wharton and get a wholly overpay from Carolina, great, God bless. But if let's say if you're number 7, we think you're 7, we think you're 8. This is how it fits into constructs of what we're trying to do here, knowing that we got to pay 6, 7 rookies. Go look, and if you get a higher number, if that's what you want, like L'Jarius Sneed did, like Turk Wharton did, by all means, take it away. But a lot of times they'll come back and they'll be like, all right, I'll take this 1 year or 2 year deal, which shows that I'm on a prove it deal because you don't really trust me. And maybe they need some, especially on the defensive side of the ball, maybe they need some prove it deals. Just a lot of guys need to prove it. So
yeah. You think Chubbs would be one of those guys because of the injury history?
Well, it's just the money. But honestly, I saw that list of Dolphins players, and Bradley Chubb's the first one that stuck out to me more than Tyreek Hill. I mean, I understand the connection and wanting to bring Tyreek Hill back, but and this is just me talking. If the organization is really ho-hum on just running it back like we're back in 3-4 years ago because it worked back then, so it worked now, like, do they not understand that this is 3-4 years later in the process of what they do, and things go downhill, and we already start to see the little bit of a downhill slide with last year's season. So this really comes down to, do they just genuinely think that they were a play here or there, and if they just overturn those plays here or there with some details, they're good. So it's up to them. I mean, it really is. It's fascinating to see how there looks like a dynamic of like trying to run it back, but then there's also like we need to redo things. And the Chiefs did not. The beauty of the Chiefs was they did not do this type of business even 4 or 5 years ago. They were okay with letting people go that may have been fan favorites or may have been players like Tyreek Hill. They said, we got to let you go because we got to improve this defense. And what happened? Championships. Yeah. And what happened to Tyreek Hill? Not championships.
Yeah, nothing.
So
he was the best quarterback he's ever seen.
The right decision was made.
Right.
And I think that decision still holds. Now, one day did they want a wasp statue of Tyreek Hill out there? Sure. Put it in the new Chiefs Kingdom in Kansas. But for now, just I'd say lay low. You've got to find guys you can develop with these high draft picks you have. That's the big focus because you can legitimately get players now if you draft correctly. Right. That's where you want to go.
Well, I think what's interesting to me is, I think, we've touched on this, the Chiefs have the delicate decision, as you said, Harold. Do we run it back, maybe a portion of the roster, but we really have to look ahead to what they're going to have available to them, not only in personnel, future cap space. I mean, I think Brett's done a pretty good job of doing two things. One, he maximizes the cap with some of these big contracts each year, so it doesn't cost him or gives him an out down the road. And he also looks ahead 2 to 3 to 4 years, when he's drafting. I think when he had the 2022 class with McDuffie and Karlaftis and Leo Chenal and Watson and everybody else in that class, I think he saw, okay, these are guys that we can get the max out of in 4 years, see how they fit, see what it's going to cost us if we want to keep any of these guys. But they all played an important part, and it was all because they made the trade for Tyreek Hill. Now, they have a similar option, we'll talk about here in a minute with Trent McDuffie. But I think Kansas City's going to have to dip their toe in the past a little bit, but they can't be an all bring it, we're going to run it back with the current roster. They have to look ahead. They have to have a good draft class. I think they have to be as aggressive as they can in free agency. Maybe shoring up a couple of positions that they're not sure they can get in the draft. But, I would think that they're going to have to do a combination this go around. I don't think they can just say, okay, we're going to run it back with what we've got. They've got to be more methodical in how they put this roster together.
Yeah, free agency is going to have to be that kind of, maybe not as aggressive as some people would like, but a little bit more aggressive than they've been the last few years.
Yeah.
Because all those draft picks that they were looking to develop, they're all their contracts are up. I mean, outside of George and Trent. So are they going to bring those guys back? Have they developed to the point where they thought they would be? Do they see more upside in those guys? So, I mean, a lot of decisions have to be made. And I think, Brett's going to look at it based on the information that he has right now. I'm sure he does the same thing every other year. But they do definitely have a methodology of how they do those contracts, so they don't have a lot of dead money in future years. So, and that's hampered them a little bit, but that's just the way they do business. So, I mean, if that's it, that's what he's got to deal with. In terms of Chubb, I think, based on reports, I mean, he had a pretty decent market in the trade market. There were several teams that were interested.
Right.
So I would imagine those teams might still have an interest, especially now that they don't have to give up any draft capital. It'll just be a matter of how much money. So we'll see about that. I don't know if the Chiefs were one of those teams. You thought maybe that was edge was a place they would look, but it seems like even when they've traded for edge players, that maybe the coaches didn't like the guys that they traded for, i.e. Josh Uche, that I still don't understand. There's going to be a 30 for 30 on some of these guys.
I doubt it.
I swear to God. Harold, anything about Josh Uche you want to share that hasn't been shared in the past?
Man, he just wasn't a fit for the Chiefs defense. And we've seen that before. Sometimes just guys are just not fits for Chiefs defense, and it wasn't here. It worked a little bit in Philadelphia, but I don't think it was enough to really warrant something where he should be brought back or something in the fold. So
it worked for about 3 or 4 games in Philadelphia, and then it fell off dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're just looking at the player now instead of,
Well, I think the story there is more so the disconnect, because they went out and specifically traded for him. I mean, not like they gave up a lot, but they gave up whatever 6th or 7th round pick, and it's like if he doesn't fit, you would probably know that. I mean, have some idea the type of player he is. It wasn't like like a college player, or maybe you missed on the evaluation. He's played in the NFL. You know what he is. Yeah. Is that the type of player we're looking for? And then I guess furthermore, I mean, once he showed up, he forgot how to play football, or it just seemed really strange that they would be that far off on an evaluation of a guy you trade for.
Yeah.
Well, looking at the Bradley Chubb, that will fill up a question mark, on a draft board. Like, okay, if the number 9 pick, if we're gonna go get a DN or a
can't have enough of them. Hence, don't again. I know where you're going.
I'm just saying if they feel that need, then they can actually fix whatever problems they have right now. So I don't think Bradley
for a couple of years. I don't think it would be a long-term deal for Bradley Chubb if the Chiefs got involved and it was a market that they could get him for like 2 or 3 years. I think if they like the edge rusher that falls to them at number 9, if an edge rusher that they like falls to them, I think they would still take him, because those guys don't grow on trees, and the more of them you have, the better it is. So I don't think it changes their draft thinking. Now, a running back, I think, would.
Yeah,
that would be completely different from my perspective, because typically you really only need one back that you're going to pay a significant amount of money to.
But looking at all the free agent running backs, I was looking at them yesterday. I was like, if realistically, if it were only Chiefs running back that look like it can be free agent running back, it can be the Andy Reid type fit, would be Travis Etienne from the Miami from the Jaguars. They not looking to franchise tag him. The catching out the backfield. I say he's a McKinnon 3.0, not 2.0.
Yeah, but do you want a McKinnon or you want a Jamal Charles?
I think he can be that. He can be that as well if he's in the right.
He's a little thicker. I think he's got speed, but he doesn't have Jamal speed. I mean,
No.
for sure. But he's but a bigger guy than Jerick McKinnon. He's a much thicker dude, and I think he still has a lot of tread on the tire, and he can play. Yeah, that would be a good one. I think he would probably be in Breece Hall situation, the same type of market. Same, they're probably looking for 4 years, $50 or $60 million because this is their opportunity. Really, these guys get pretty much one chance. There's only a handful that get that, like a third contract, but for these guys anymore, that's your chance to maximize your money, and they're going to try to, and especially if they can get them, there's going to be 2 or 3 teams that'll go for it and see what happens. But it'll be interesting to see if any of them get that type of contract.
I think, Harold, for me, I mean, you mentioned Antonio Pierce, and obviously he's not signed. They didn't really get him on the field much, a little bit in the Raiders game. I mean, and we all know Andy likes to have some depth at running back. He'd like to have a couple of guys. What would you think about a pairing of Breece Hall and Antonio Pierce? You think that would work?
Yeah, Damian Pierce.
Pierce.
I mean, I think that would be great. But let's just remember, I think they tried something like that last year when they got Elijah Mitchell and thought they had something with they brought back Clyde into the practice squad. But I think that was just more of a sentimental reason because, of what he's dealing with and what he means to the team.
Yeah, they want to keep his insurance active and all the other things.
And who's evaluating? Who's in charge of pro personnell? I want to talk to that guy.
Elijah Mitchell was just a miss. They thought, okay, this is a guy in injuries that they can keep for a bit, stash. He'll be healthy. He goes, and he's a healthy scratch the entire time. He never got right. And, Andy Reid kept mentioning over and over, it's like, you got to remember, he's just injured. It takes a long time to get back. And they just tell he's not back yet. So they need a healthy back, but to do that, they're going to have to invest money. So the decision is there someone down the draft order of running backs that they see if Jeremiyah Love is already taken, or if they think they can find better value in somebody in the second, third rounds with running back, if that's what they're prioritizing.
Right.
Which is the key word there, what they're prioritizing, because we're going to figure out with their first draft pick what they're prioritizing very quickly. Because we've seen
free agency too, Harold. I mean, if you start all of a sudden you see them associated with like 2 or 3 running backs, then okay.
If the rumors start popping up that like this running back's being named and associated with Chiefs, what have you, then you can do the math there. But that we're going to see what quickly they prioritize. I mean, I have a belief that they should just go best man available and go from there and just say, all right, even if it's a position they didn't necessarily need, like let's say Caleb Downs or somebody's there. I mean, I don't think he would, but like let's say if a safety's there and you're like, okay, we got to take him. We just think he's that big of a stud. Then that does your math with like Brian Cook, unfortunately, and you're like, okay, well, c'est la vie, unless he takes the franchise tag. So. And that's if they even have money for that. So that's where your thinking is. Like the thinking is, where do they want to go? They got to prioritize where they want to go, draft order first, what they want to do there, and then they can go into, all right, now we're going to look into what we can do with everything else involved with the free agency market. Because I mean, like I'm looking at some of the names, and I mean, Hense. I mean, you mentioned some of the names too, but we mentioned Breece. Obviously, there's Kenneth Walker, even though it's kind of hard to let go of a Super Bowl MVP. Etienne, if you want to run the rules on that, see if he wants to get out of Jacksonville. Tyler Algier is another name, but I just don't know if he's the type of running back that fits there as well. And I know the local kid, Rashad White, who's from Kansas City, but I don't know how they're going to treat that. I mean, he'd be like your Jerick McKinnon type guy. Rashad White would definitely be your Jerick McKinnon type guy. So, it's up to them what they want to do.
Do we have that guy on the roster? I believe we do, and Brashard Smith.
Yeah, I mean,
we
just don't know what Brashard Smith is just yet.
Not the lead back, but he could certainly play the Jerick McKinnon role at very least. Yeah,
we just don't know. We just don't know what we have in Brashard Smith yet.
Right.
And, I mean, like we're all assuming Pacheco's gone, but keep in mind Pacheco's boy is a Bieniemy. Bieniemy got the best out of him. So
no.
Yeah. Don't. I can't do it.
Well, I would love to have him back, but like I never seen, you know, nobody that runs the back of the offensive line more than he did since he been here, even with Airbnb here. So maybe I know you say
he is
pot,
certainly
right?
to bring back a term that we don't like on the show, but he would certainly be a serviceable back.
Oh God,
but
no, he wouldn't.
But he's not the offensive weapon that you can add to this team without throwing another wide receiver into the mix. You can be a little bit more explosive in the backfield, whether it be running or receiving. You get a guy like that. Now, again, that just kind of puts another doubt in the minds of the opposing defense, and it can help you do everything a little bit better. It's not so condensed. They're not, they don't become one-dimensional. So, you want to get somebody that's explosive and that that at any time can break it and take it the distance. And there's not a lot of guys out there like that, but there's a few.
Yeah, we've seen Pops do that once or twice. And I think, obviously, everybody talks about Jeremiyah Love. And, I know the ESPN guys were all over this topic for the Chiefs. And, it was kind of a split decision, as far as that goes. And I think I'm still hard pressed to think he's going to be there at number 9.
It's the sexy pick. I mean,
it's the sexy pick. I think the Cardinals, I think the Saints, could be players. I don't think the Jets will take him quite at that spot. I think where they have the second pick, right? I think it's the second pick. I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to go defense. But, Love does check all the boxes potentially. And it makes a lot of sense. It's fun for the fan base. But, Harold, they got to go defense.
Oh, yeah.
They have to fix defense.
And I'm thinking more along the lines of maybe there's some wheeling and dealing there with Veach and his staff that he tries to move up a little bit if they see a running back they really like.
Yeah.
If Jeremiyah Love's off the table.
Yeah.
If they really like a running back that they think can be kind of an everyday guy. Because, remember when Kareem Hunt was drafted, he was the guy and he produced. And Kareem Hunt wasn't like an exceptionally high pick or like really high looked up because he was at Toledo.
I think this draft might be fairly similar because you've got Love and then you've got a cluster of guys that are probably going to go in the second and third round.
Yeah,
so
and
like
do they like the guy? Yeah.
Day 2, there's going to be about 6 or 7 running backs that go. I think I just putting it out there.
Luke said something earlier.
Jadarian Price and Emmett Johnson. I mean, there's a handful of guys. It may not be the name or what Jeremiyah Love has done. Again, the 2 kids from Penn State, Nick Singleton could turn out to be the best running back in this class, but he had a weird year at Penn State and it didn't look right. And Katron Allen actually was the one that was the bell cow at the end of the year. But I tell you what, if Nick Singleton is right medically, that could be kind of a steal in the 3rd round or 2nd round. So,
I'm looking at Katron Allen. He could be still Emmett Johnson.
Allen's not quite as dynamic as Nick Singleton. That's the difference there. I mean, he's as productive. Right. He's closer to Pops than he would be a Jeremiyah Love, where Singleton could be just as good.
Yeah, and Love's teammate was another guy too.
Jadarian Price.
there's some options there. I mean, I like what you're thinking. Late Friday, early Saturday picks. There, if they see the value in it, then I think they go for it for sure. But to me, free agency is the best way to do that. I mean,
I agree.
You don't know what Airbnb. I would kind of lean on Airbnb when it comes to what he wants to see in the run game, like the type of player he wants to see. Because this is a guy who turned around DeAndre Swift. In Chicago, he got the run game going in Chicago.
Manungai, come on.
Yeah, so
seventh rounder from Rutgers. Let's go.
That one worked out all right.
You want to do another Rutgers?
No, I don't want to do another 7th round running back. No offense.
If there's another guy at Rutgers right now,
no offense.
EB might say like, "Hey, come on, I'm 2 for 2."
It's another guy from Rutgers coming out. I can't forget his name. I forget his name though, but he's a good running back that's coming out as well. But but with the Tyreek Hill thing, back on that, looking at what probably happened with Rashi Rice, you don't know what's going to happen with him, with the news and stuff, and that nothing happened, came out yet. But that's probably going to have to be a move. They probably have to fix there in the draft, with the number 9 pick, like Jordan Tyson or Tate or somebody like there, they probably go wide receiver if they don't get somebody in free agents. See, what do you have to say?
It'd be more economical to get that wide receiver in the draft, because you have a better chance of one of those kids becoming a number one receiver. If you look at the guys in this free agent market, I don't know. Again, I love Alec Pierce. I'll stand on the table. It'd be great to have, but he's not a number one receiver. And I don't know if the Chiefs have a number one receiver, or they even think they have a number one receiver. If they can get one, you have a much better chance of getting that guy at number 9 than you do in this free agent crop.
There's going to be a great wide receiver at number 9. I don't think there's any question.
Potentially.
That's the route they're going to go. But I think with the Rice situation is that has to be resolved before the start of free agency. They have to know from Dallas County DA's office if he's violated his agreement. If he hasn't, and the NFL says there's nothing there, and the Chiefs say there's nothing there, again, nothing has come out. Nothing has been said. Usually you get leaks in this situation, but there really haven't been any. So I think the Chiefs probably think he's clear. And it's a matter of, okay, do we maybe trade Rice?
Don't you think we'd know if charges had been filed?
I don't know how slow the Dallas County DA's office was to begin with in this case. Nothing would be. It could be a while, if nothing more. Again,
but then that's the other thing. We don't even know if the alleged event happened.
We don't know anything. I'm not
Dallas
laying
or in
credence to
Missouri.
it one way or the other. It was just a post. I know some of those pictures were very old. At the end of the day, to me, they have to make a decision before the start of free agency on Rashi Rice. Either they get with the league and get with the DA and say, okay, is he cleared? Is he not cleared? And then the decision becomes, do we trade him for a 3rd or 4th round pick?
How about Nick? They get with Rashi and just talk to him man to man.
Done that already.
Is any of this true? I mean,
listen. I think all the due diligence is done. It doesn't hinge on the NFL and the Chiefs. It hinges on Dallas County, what they're going to do.
But if the Chiefs aren't comfortable just with having to deal with this, which seems like now regularly, they may just say, "Hey, you're going to play out your contract. Let the courts decide whatever." And then we'll move on.
Well, they may not even want to mess with him. They may want to get rid of him, or they may want to trade. It just the bottom line is, I don't care what the resolution is either way. Before free agency, the open window begins in 3 weeks or 4 weeks from today. 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from today. That's it. You got to have that decision. So they've got to do their due diligence. They've got to push. If the league said there's nothing here, if the Chiefs say there's nothing here, the DA says there's nothing here, then it's a 50-50 scenario. You either keep him, you get his act together, you get him away from his entourage again. Hopefully he gets his life in order, and you take a chance on him for 1 year because they touted him as the guy last year. He's a number one receiver. And again, nothing has been leaked. Nothing is coming out. I've talked to several people who have no knowledge of what's going on at this point. So again, you can't go into free agency
Probably nothing, but I think internally they've, like you said, I mean, they've probably done what they need to do, but they also have to make a decision whether maybe they believe him. He's been forthright, say, hey, here's what's happened, whatever, okay. But like you said, they need to decide, are we okay with that? Because even though he's telling us the truth and all this other stuff, we think if Kareem would have told the truth, the Chiefs would have kept him. But who knows? Maybe they'll say, let's screw it. No,
they would have. No. He had an option to fix it, and he chose not to, and that's why he was gone.
Well, I think the video had a lot to do with it too. But anyway, regardless of his legal standing, everything like that, we also have to decide, is this guy worthy of a second deal just in talent and what he's shown us so far? And then, okay, if that's a yes, then move on to the other stuff. Right. If it's not a yes, then it's just like, hey, we'll just let you play out your 4 years and then off we go.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why, I'm saying if Tyreek Hill is available, then you answer those questions there. You don't have to wait till like they did and you don't know if somebody's going to get a suspension or not.
But maybe Tyreek before the injury, though. Hence,
they're not going to make any decision on wide receiver until they have the right situation. You say whatever you want about Tyreek Hill, and you're, oh my God, I want him on my team mantra.
if the dude can't run,
what I'm trying to say is if they can answer this question or this looming question over the team in free agency, or they can just say, "Heck, we're not gonna have this type of nonsense on the team no more, and we can pick somebody in the draft at number 9 like Denzel Boston or somebody like that."
Okay, let me put this in perspective for you, Hans. My brother,
there's other guys too. You can wait till the second round.
Last week was the first time he walked without assistance. Patrick Mahomes already walking without assistance. So, as much as we love this idea, I think Harold hit it on the nose. I just don't see it happening.
Well,
it wouldn't shock me. I mean, in my opinion, it probably shouldn't happen, but it wouldn't shock me if it did, because all this sentiment, especially if all of a sudden Travis announces his return to the team, and I was like, oh wow, they're getting the band back together. It's like, oh God, what are we doing? It just delays the inevitable, right? You got to,
Noah Gray, you got to see what you got in him.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just asking the question with Lewis.
Other players that right now might be in that situation where you're not really sure. But the thing is, they drafted a tight end. They brought in a pretty big, maybe the highest priced UDFA last year, close to it, another tight end in Brenningstool. You got to believe they still like their evaluations on those guys. Now Wiley had an injury, so we have to see what we have in them. Noah's got at least another year on his extension, right? So, it should be interesting what happens in the tight end room. But Travis, he's just going to play in it. He'll wait as long as he possibly can. Hopefully, he does it before the new league year, which I think he'll say.
So, Harold, we're all assuming Travis is going to come back, but
I'm not.
What? Oh, he's back. What is? They've already made some changes to his offseason. Yeah, he's coming back. So how does the tight end room look, assuming Kelsey is back? Where do you think the priority goes? Do you think they believe in Brenningstool? I'm not sure I believe in Wiley any longer.
He's never been really healthy.
He's never been healthy his whole career in the NFL for 2 years.
But he's a giant. I mean, he guy's huge.
It's a big man, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he could be something, but I think they put a lot of stock in Noah Gray. He just had a disappointing year.
Yeah.
Not to say that he can't rebound, but I just think there are some drops there that weren't normally him. They're just things that were off. And, he got rewarded with that contract basically by saying, like, all right, we know you're going to play a lot more because 8-7 down there is going downhill a little bit. But I don't think they thought it would be this bad.
Yeah.
And so he's going to prove a year too. I mean, let's be honest with you.
It's the third year of his deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to prove a year. So I think he knows. And
there aren't many guys on the team that aren't.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Well, I mean, everybody's got to prove it. You go 6-11, everybody.
I understand. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. But there's a handful of guys that are going to be here. But for the most part, I mean, no one is like a sacred cow. I mean, outside of Patrick, right? Creed and Trey. Mm-hmm. Simmons and Kingsley, because they're young and they're kind of up and coming. But there's a lot of guys on defense. They're like, we still don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. But I think Jared Raleigh got to get his shot. I know he's been hurt. I think he'd probably be the answer.
Harold's flexing, man.
He's flexing his Mardi Gras. He's getting ready for Mardi Gras.
Did your significant other just tune in, or what's happening now?
So what?
Did your significant other just tune in, or kind of showing off?
Well, hey, I want to ask y'all a question. Did y'all watch the 500? NASCAR yesterday with Michael Jordan. His team won the championship. He got another ring.
Didn't watch it, but yeah, I saw it. I mean, after when him with the trophy, I saw that.
Yeah, he was crying like it was the NBA trophy.
Yeah.
John
Gruden that's a big deal.
It takes a lot of money to invest in a NASCAR team.
Daytona 500, man.
Do John Gruden got a team there as well or no?
I don't know if he was there just like as working with Fox or Barstool or something.
I think it was, yeah.
But it was pretty funny though. He's made for television.
I don't think I'd want to be behind anywhere near him,
whether he's coaching or just whatever. But no, I would the Jordan thing that was pretty cool. And then Gruden being there. But I guess there was a big pile up on the last lap maybe and
and it happened just maybe Jordan had something to do with that. I'll just play. But looking at I want to ask Harold this before we close out. What you think K-State going to do with their head coaching vacancy now?
Man. Kansas State talk on Chiefs Blitz. All right.
Hey, I was going to ask you a Royals question, but go ahead.
No, man, Royals questions on Royals Blitz.
I got a Royals question for you after you do this.
Sure.
I was going to text him
last night, obviously, we got the news that he's let go, and there's going to be a lot of lawyers involved because that $19 million buyout, they're firing him with cause, which means they don't have to pay it. Well, at least that's what they're saying, and they're carefully wording things where they make sure they have their P's and Q's, I's dotted, T's crossed. But there will be lawyers involved. Driscoll's going to take over because he's a former head coach in North Florida. But it'll be a national search. I mean, K-State has proven they've got some decent NIL for their basketball team. They just got to pick the right guys and the problem with Coach Tang and his crew is I think the last couple of years went into it thinking we got the right guys, or as he liked to say, dudes. But it just didn't work out. And I mean, you cannot be 1-11 in Big 12 play and getting beat the way they've been getting beat at home. I mean, it's been bad from tip at home, especially.
You could argue he kind of lost it after one of those games, didn't he?
Well, I mean, they lost it from the beginning of Big 12 play.
No, I mean like in a press conference.
Last Wednesday, after Cincinnati game where they got run out of the building, and he basically just said those guys don't even deserve the jersey. You don't deserve to wear Kansas State apparel, basically. So, which they're saying as conduct, detrimental to what is in his contract. So, when you start mentioning, language and verbiage in the contract, and he's mentioning afterward in the statement about language and contracts and characterization, then there will be lawyers. Right. So everyone's lawyered up, and for that one, they'll probably settle that. But I mean, as for K-State, again, they got a decent NIL. They got to find the right coach. But I think what the next coach needs to do is not forget that you need to recruit some freshmen and develop them too. You can't just go everybody in the portal and forget freshmen. He had Castillo and he had Manning, but he's got to go find some guys. All right, the next coach has to find somebody they do have to find some local recruits.
See, I think Mark Turgeon would have been a perfect replacement for him.
Yeah, well, the thing about Turgeon is, I think he wanted something that was doable in his age, and I think he wants to also, his son's going to be on the staff, and I think he kind of wants to carry the ship until he's ready to call it a day and hand it over to his son. But Turgeon, to his credit, has gone into the Kansas City area, and he's already offered 3 of the best players in the Kansas City area. I think one kid's from Olathe, another kid is from KCK, and then the other kid is from the Northland area in Oak Park. So Gladstone, Missouri. So he's done exactly what he's supposed to do. He's like, where's the good talent? I've watched him. Here's an offer. You at the very least, you should have an offer from the University of Missouri, Kansas City.
Right.
And then, something else comes. God bless you, but you have this. And Turgeon's thinking at his level in the Summit League is like, hey, I'm going to recruit you. If you're good, then we know you're going to get taken, and we'll just recruit some more kids and develop them. Whereas at K-State, you don't have to do that. You can pick some good freshmen with the NIL you have, and you kind of see the formula Tang has had under NIL, which is they get the big fish. So they got like Coleman Hawkins a couple of years ago. They got PJ Haggerty this year. Right. And now they're trying to get you can get a big fish, but maybe instead of spending $2.5 million, $3 million on one guy, get 3 $1 million guys that play a little more for the front of the jersey, and try to mesh them together with some good, solid nucleus of guys who know what it is to play at a school. Because even in the NIL era, you can still have guys that are loyal to a school a little bit and want to play for the school. Because Kansas definitely found a guy in Melvin Council Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Who is,
and he wasn't expensive.
Yeah, and he wasn't expensive, but he's incredibly loyal to Kansas, even though he's been at 300 schools beforehand. So it's doable to find them.
Yeah, I think it's going to always be tough to compete against Kansas, especially the way Bill Self finally, during the NIL era, I think he's finally realized how to recruit, get freshmen back in there, and then also, use that money wisely. So before we go, I do want to ask you Royals questions because I know spring training officially started today, correct?
Yeah, well, all the position players
they've
already been there, but yeah.
Yeah, the pitcher's already there. So, I mean, the big talk in the offseason with the Royals is, are they going to trade one of their starting pitchers to get a bat?
Yeah.
I still think they can't compete with Detroit unless they get a bat. They get another bat in that outfield.
Not right now with and they can compete with Detroit, but
they can't
Valdez and Skubal is a hard one too. Yeah, that's a hard. Framber, Valdez, and Tyreek Skubal with that one too is a hard one. Plus, they already had some pretty decent guys already.
Yeah,
so
their minor league system ain't bare.
Yeah. So with the Royals,
Tigers AA team right here in Erie, Pennsylvania.
There you go.
So with the Royals, it's more so a matter of can their guys, Jack Caglione, Carter Jensen, the bottom of the lineup, can they produce and provide a bat that's a threat? And then, obviously they need Michael to play to the level he played last year. They need Salvi to maybe start a little faster instead of, being good toward the tail end.
Right.
And provide some level of consistency. And, they need Vinny to they just need guys to have a good deal. They need to stop the base running mistakes. And if they're in contention before the trade deadline, then I think J.J. Piccolo, and he's already mentioned it, if they're in contention at the trade deadline, I think J.J. Piccolo is going to make a move. He'll make some moves. Like, if that means he's got to get rid of a pitcher. Because right now they got like 9-10 starting guys that are capable of starting.
They have way too much depth.
But they need to pick their 5. And they need to have depth because some of those guys are up there in age. Like Walker's up there in age. Lugo's up there in age. So they need to have some guys there that if they need to spot fill in, they'll be available. They'll have them in Omaha for a bit, just keep them stretched. But for the most part, they're going to have guys that will start. And then at the trade deadline, like, okay, now we can make some moves here, there, and elsewhere. Because, they've got a quality rotation right now.
Mm-hmm.
If they're all 100% healthy, that's a great rotation. Chris Bubich, Noah Cameron, Waka, and Lugo, and Reagans. That's a great rotation.
They have a postseason rotation set. If those guys are healthy in October.
Exactly. But we're all saying if they're healthy, but we saw last year
they
weren't. And that's why they need that starting pitching depth. And again, if they're in contention, then they might – if they're in contention, they identify their problem as we need a bat, then, one of those starting pitchers.
Right.
So let's get to the one last question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. So the one question, number 10, the wounded cheetah or the big thorn – I think the Chiefs have to sign Thornton Harold. I don't know what the talks are. They're at.
Here's the thing: Tyquan Thornton was on Media Row in the Super Bowl. I think you guys may have seen it. And he was basically just saying like he's got a lot more left in the tank, and he didn't think he got utilized the way he thinks he can be utilized. He wants to improve as a receiver. So, do you want someone who wants to improve as a receiver, wants to increase that route tree, wants to be seen as something more than just a deep threat? Or do you want the guy that is a deep threat and is good, but he might get you only 6-8 games out of the season?
Yeah.
They didn't utilize Tyquan. For some reason, I know the concussion didn't help toward the end. So we didn't get to see him at his best maybe the last 2 or 3 games when he really could have shown what he had. But
I think they stashed him a little bit.
Yeah, when he was being relied upon, there was something there where you thought, okay, this can be something they roll with. And he clearly had the trust of Patrick Mahomes. And he's spring training. You got me talking about baseball, spring training. Any fall practice you saw in St. Joe, you could tell that there was a trust and there was a rapport there. But he had to work on the intermediate stuff, which they all thought was going to be Rashi Rice. And, of course, that didn't really happen. And looking back upon it, they really drew themselves back a bit with, still using Rashi Rice in camp, knowing full well he wasn't going to be there for his first 6 weeks.
They didn't just help anybody else.
They didn't help anybody out in that case. No. So –
he's still a young dude. He's like,
she's definitely still young. Yeah.
No. Thornton.
He's still young too. Yeah. People forget, like Rasheed and Thornton, were drafted around the same spot in their respective
We'll see if he has a market, but I would think.
Yeah, he'll definitely be the guy that sees if he has a market. I mean, he already is seeing if he has a market. So
yeah, I mean, if they could get him back, I mean, based on the room, he certainly has a role for sure. I mean,
sure.
Yeah, I think he's
recommendation. I think I put it in the chat yesterday. If you guys are into documentaries, Soul Power on Prime Video. It's about the ABA, and its executive producers are Dr. J, George Carl, and Common. Excellent. 4 parts. I mean, just and it's not just. I mean, it's like almost like a historical thing as well about different cultures and just how the league kind of was trying to be like the AFL, a thorn in the side, and just the amount of talent that was in that league. I recommend it.
My first ABA game was in St. Louis. That's how old I am. And I believe Larry Brown was the coach at the ABA.
Larry Brown coached the Nuggets.
I thought he coached at St. Louis.
And
not at St. Louis, but with the was it the Spirit?
The Spirit of
St. Louis. Yeah.
Okay.
Harold Syracuse brother, that was his first job. Bob Costas was the first play-by-play guy right out of college, 22 years old.
Yeah, he and Kevin Harlan did that too when he was at KU. He's calling it
like arguably the greatest business deal ever made. These 2 guys from New Jersey, brothers, that purchased the franchise when it moved to St. Louis for like $5,000, right? They were being left out of the merger with the NBA. They were only going to take 4 teams. But they said, because of the contract they had with the other owners, that we will get 1/7, which there were 7 teams left at that time because some had disbanded. They folded up. But they said that we will get 1/7 of all the TV money that you make. Now, at the time, they had like no TV contract. Everybody was like, yeah, no big deal. But it's in perpetuity.
Yep.
So they made like $800 million on their $5,000 investment. And then the NBA finally bought them out in 2014. And Marvin Barnes, Mo Lucas. I mean, they had some players.
Yeah, that was a great league. It was fun to watch. Love the basketball. So all right, guys, that's going to do it for this edition of the Chiefs Blitz podcast. I want to thank Lou and Hense and Harold for joining us again from Fox 4. When are you heading down to Surprise?
Maybe not this year. We don't know.
Oh, really?
We'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
Depends.
All right.
I mean, I work for, being that I work for a Fox affiliate, we're so big time into the World Cup this year. So
that's true.
Yeah. Like just know that come May or June and July, I'm going to be much more into soccer than I am football. And I'm going to reverse back.
I'm excited.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to reverse back. I'm like, well, after watching Netherlands, I'm going to have to watch whatever running back they draft or pick up.
We're going to have some amazing shows. We're going to have some amazing shows in June, folks.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking soccer with the World Cup coming to Kansas City. We're going to try and sprinkle in some of the local flavor, baseball and college basketball, college football as well into our show. And, of course, you can check us on our other site, primetimesportstalk.com, where if you want to write on the World Cup, send me a message. We'd love to put you on our staff. All right, guys, thank you very much. Happy Monday to all. We'll be back Wednesday at 1:30. Again, Harold, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Sun's out, guns out. Happy Fat Tuesday.
All right. Go Mardi Gras.
The team, every victory we slay. Chiefs Blitz podcast where the real fans unite. Every touchdown score, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post-game debate. We love our Chiefs, yeah, it's never too late.